Is Thursday, October 8th, and I wanted to share today's little tidbit about AWS and the opportunities that are available with AWS Educate and learning about cloud technology. So, I think it's really good to show by examples, like, show an example and highlight an employer and how they're utilizing AWS technology, because the beauty and I guess maybe the frustration is like you don't know what you don't know. And there's so many cool opportunities out there, and you don't know what you don't know until you do a little bit of research. So what I did was like a little bit of research. I just went to Google Alerts, typed in a couple of keywords that I was looking for related to AWS Educate or AWS technology, and I found a really cool article with Carrier. So Carrier is Carrier Global Corporation. You're probably familiar with them, like Carrier Heating and Cooling. They make those units for heating and cooling. They also make refrigeration units. And while doing this research, I discovered more about what Carrier does that I never really thought too much about. And like I said, they do refrigeration, heating and cooling, and some other stuff that I'm sure I'm not really aware of. But the focus of this particular podcast in this episode is how they're utilizing technology with AWS to change the game, so to speak, on the refrigeration technology, which, if you're like me, you probably really not thought too much about. You just like your refrigerator, your household refrigerator, it works, it's good, don't think too much about it. So this is a combination of, whenever I try to break something down to have a better understanding of the basics of it. If I'm learning something new, I try to break it down to very simplistic questions like who, what, when, where, how, and why. And that's kind of how I'm going to present this. The who. The who we're talking about is Carrier Global Corporation and AWS. So the what is actually called Lynx, Lynx Digital Platform. And what that is a digital platform that Carrier is creating with AWS. It's utilizing IoT technologies to to create a better refrigeration system, so to speak, by monitoring and knowing in advance if something is going to break, so to speak, and making sure that they are giving their end customers the kind of refrigeration capacities and that they're meeting their needs. And they're doing that, like I said, with the creation of a platform called Lynx Digital Platform. So how are they doing it? Well, they are doing it utilizing IoT, which stands for Internet of Things. And what that does is it's collecting data. And I love data. I love looking at data because of the information that data can provide. I think it's hugely interesting. So this is one of the reasons that I picked this particular case. So what the Lynx Digital Platform will do, it will collect the data and then integrate it and organize it and analyze it to create that information. Data in its raw form does not give us information. It's the way we take that data and compile it into ways that it's going to give us the information that we need is how there's the value in data. So what it does, it feeds the data into a data lake housed in S3. S3 is an AWS service, stands for Simple Storage Service, and it's basically an online storage service that has there's no how do I want to say this? Like it's very fine, it's very infinite on its capacity. So some storage solutions, like there are online storage solutions, they have a limit on the file size or in the object size that they can house. And S3, there's no limit. So that makes S3 a valuable resource whenever you're collecting data, like I'm sure Carrier is collecting for all the refrigeration units. So what it does with that data is it uses machine learning to provide refrigeration and monitoring solutions to help be provide preventive measures to make sure that the cargo within those refrigeration units are safe and that they're not having unnecessary loss. Now that cargo could be anything from food products to vaccines to medicines, which are all very high value products Obviously, food. We don't want food to go to waste any more than necessary. Medicine and vaccines. Those are things that have high value as well. And we don't want those things that have those kinds of value to go to waste unnecessarily. So what this IoT with this Lynx, with the data collected from the IoT, utilizing the Lynx Digital Platform that they're working on, they're able to provide preventive measures on keeping all that cargo safe. So the why, and I kind of already said this, but I'll go ahead and explain it again. The why is because Carrier provides healthy, safe, and sustainable cold storage solutions, and they want to continue to do that. They are a huge company with customers around the world, and they have their customers, and their customers. I don't know who their customers are, but I'm going to say, for example, General Mills. So if General Mills, for example, is one of their customers, their end customer is the people who visit the stores to purchase the products, and they want to make sure that they are providing their customers, in this example, General Mills, and I don't know, again, if General Mills is a customer of Carrier, they are providing their customer the services that they need to provide those customers, their customers, the service, the products that they're needing. I mentioned General Mills. That could be a food service or a food product. It could be Johnson and Johnson. I believe they make medicine, or any of the pharmaceutical companies. Whoever has cargo that is susceptible to environmental changes that are not controlled, they are a potential customer for Carrier, and Carrier wants to make sure that they provide healthy and safe and sustainable cold storage solutions. So this Lynx Digital Platform provides their customers with improved visibility, connectivity, and intelligence for the temperature-sensitive product, such as, like I said, food, medicine, and vaccines. They're able to see how the refrigeration units are doing. They're able to see if they're connected correctly, and that connectivity can, monitor the environmental in regards to the temperature and moisture, and I'm sure probably other elements that I'm not even aware of because don't really know anything about refrigeration, short of I need it to work. So it keeps them informed. That data that they collect, it turns into information, which helps keep them informed on the refrigeration units and making sure that that cargo that's in those refrigeration units is housed properly so that they can make it to their customer in a fashion that's going to be productive for everybody and not have any kind of unforeseen loss. So it also provides real-time alerts and with end-to-end tracking, automated processes, and with the machine learning component, they can have predictive analytics. They can predict with machine learning, they can predict when things may be subject to failure. And instead of having unforeseen and unplanned failure, they can know ahead of time, like, hey, a component needs to be replaced. A component needs maintenance. A component needs repaired. So they don't have to face unforeseen failures that could potentially result in large catastrophes if it's going to have a negative effect on their cargo. And it decreases the cost of cold chain operations by optimizing the use of the resources to reduce the cargo loss. As I said, it helps make sure that they are profitable, that the loss is at the minimum, and making sure that they are providing their customers the services and the resources that they need for those end customers. Again, in the example I said earlier, their customers could be General Mills, and General Mills is in the business of getting food products to their customers. So I'm going to be putting in the notes some resources that I found that were interesting. I think this article was only written maybe a few days ago. So this is still fairly current, and this is still fairly, they're still making some noise, so to speak, on the things that they're doing. So this is something to kind of stay on top of. And it's really interesting, which leads me into AWS Educate, of course. So AWS Educate actually has a digital badge focusing on IoT. And as I said earlier, Lynx Digital Platform that Carrier and AWS are working on, they utilize IoT, and they are taking that data that's collected from those various IoT devices to give themselves information on what they need to do, be effective and proactive in making sure that the maintenance is up to code. So what's nice about AWS Educate is I'll call these little digital badges you can acquire. So that has incentives and that feel-good feeling that you get when you acquire something cool. And the IoT badge is one of those things. So that's one of the great things about AWS Educate is it's teaching content that is relevant to today and tomorrow within this AWS Educate platform, such as an example as the IoT. So with the IoT and other kind of badges and learning opportunities within AWS Educate, they have all kinds of resources that is available for community colleges, vocational schools, dual enrollment programs, and more. So there's a really great opportunity for high schools and college levels to collaborate and to make sure that our students, as they graduate high school, college, whatever it is that they're looking at, whatever their next steps are, provide some resources that they can do to succeed with companies like these large companies, global companies like Carrier and General Mills, if that's a resource, if that's a customer. And all these huge companies, they need the skill sets, they need the talent who is familiar with IoT technologies, such as with AWS. So that is my little spiel for today about AWS Educate. I wanted to provide a real example of how AWS technology, specifically on this one with IoT, is being used in real life for large companies, and and all the opportunities that are available with AWS Educate. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. My cell phone number is 740-300-1684. Feel free to text me. Thank you.